Okay, let's talk about the New York Football Giants. The Giants, shockingly, knocked off the Seattle Seahawks 12-17 this past week in Week 13 of the 2020 NFL season. And a lot of people are bashing the Seattle Seahawks in regards to this game. They're saying, oh, look at Seattle. They're terrible. They're no good. Ugh, they lost to the Giants. And that's fair. That was a bad loss for Seattle. But it seems like no one is giving the New York Giants the credit they deserve. Joe Judge and that New York Giants team came into Seattle and they handled their business with a backup quarterback. I know Daniel Jones is not the greatest quarterback in the world, but he's better than Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy is not a good quarterback, people. And the New York Giants went into Seattle, Washington, and they defeated the Seattle Seahawks with Colt McCoy. And they flat out won the game. There was no trick plays. It wasn't a fluke. They won because they were the better team on the field that past Sunday. You can make the argument Seattle has better players than the Giants. I'd agree with you. But it didn't matter. You want to know why it didn't matter? Because the Giants, they came into that game prepared, and they came into that game ready to handle business, and Joe Judge and the coaching staff definitely deserve a ton of credit, okay? When you look at Joe Judge and this New York Giants team, the players seem to respect Joe Judge. There's a presence about him. Joe Judge seems to be making adjustments. He's changed the culture for the New York Giants. He's the perfect head coach for New York. He seems like a blue-collar guy that's very tough. You know, he's all about hard-nosed, smash-mouth football. And you think about New York Giants football from the past. The Giants have played great defense. They've ran the ball effectively. They've been tough. They've been hard-nosed. And that's the vibe that I get from Joe Judge. Joe Judge is a no-nonsense guy, and he's changed that culture very quickly in New York, okay? And this team seems to be improving every single week under Joe Judge. Jason Garrett and Patrick Graham also deserve a lot of credit. Patrick Graham is the defensive coordinator for the Giants, and Jason Garrett is the offensive coordinator for the Giants. I didn't know if Jason Garrett was going to work as the offensive coordinator for the Giants, but with limited weapons, I think Jason Garrett is doing a decent job. Patrick Graham, he's definitely helped turn around this defense, okay? The Giants' offensive line has improved tremendously. Their defensive line has improved tremendously. Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, these are guys that Dave Gettleman has put his name to. He obviously didn't draft Leonard Williams, but he traded for Leonard Williams. So I think you got to give Dave Gettleman a lot of credit, man. He's definitely doing a decent job up to this point as being the general manager of the New York Giants. I don't think that he's gotten enough credit for some of the moves that he's made. I've been very critical of Dave Gettleman in the past, but while also being critical of Dave Gettleman, when I'm proven to be wrong about something, I have no problem coming on here and admitting, hey, I was wrong, Dave Gettleman, hey, you deserve a W, okay? So, look, I'm not trying to give Dave Gettleman a bunch of brownie points right here, but some of the moves that he's made and the direction that he's decided to go in regards to building up this Giants team, you know, as far as, you know, building this team up front. He deserves credit for that because the offensive line and the defensive line have improved tremendously, okay? And also, he went out and spent some money in free agency. James Bradbury, Blake Martinez, they're pretty good. I really like the Bradbury signing. Didn't know the Martinez signing would work for the Giants, but so far, it's been a hit. And when Saquon Barkley comes back next year, this Giants offense is going to be a whole new animal. And I really think the Giants need to add to their wide receiver core. Obviously, you have Darius Slayton, you know, but outside of Darius Slayton, it's a lot of question marks. So, if you want to get the most out of Daniel Jones, you need to draft him another wide receiver, or you need to sign for or trade for a wide receiver. We've seen what getting DeAndre Hopkins has done for Kyler Murray. I think that Kyler Murray was going to improve as a quarterback regardless, but Kyler Murray went from being a very good quarterback to a borderline great quarterback with DeAndre Hopkins. We've seen Josh Allen go from being average to a good quarterback last year to an MVP candidate this year with Stephon Diggs. It's time that Daniel Jones gets a legitimate weapon to throw to outside Darius Slayton. Even if it's not a number one wide receiver, just get him a couple more weapons because the Giants, they're not quite dynamic enough on offense on the outside wide receiver for most teams to take them seriously, okay? So the Giants, they're moving in the right direction. I think they've hit on their head coach. The final denominator is Daniel Jones worth banking on long term? I do believe Daniel Jones is going to get another year with the Giants just because they're not going to be in position to draft Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence. I'm still not sold on Daniel Jones. I think that he's a below average to an average quarterback right now. I'm not completely sold on the guy, but the last couple of weeks he's improved. And, we'll see, man. We'll see if he continues to improve. Not sold on Jones yet, but I could be sold, by next year. I'm just in wait and see mode with Daniel Jones. I don't want to write the guy off. I don't want to anoint the guy either. I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to observe, and I'm going to see if Daniel Jones can prove to me that he's a legitimate franchise quarterback. I'm not quite there yet with Daniel Jones. The physical tools do not, pop off my screen. He's definitely a very good athlete. I like to see him try to use his legs more. To me, he has an average arm. He's pretty accurate when given time to throw. Not very good at sensing pressure. Definitely needs to cut down the turnovers. He has done that over the past couple of weeks. But again, I just kind of want to wait and see with Daniel Jones. I want to see him continue to play more games. He'll probably get another year to be the starter in New York. We'll see if he's up to the challenge. But the New York Giants definitely are moving in the right direction, led by head coach Joe Judge. No doubt about it. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.